With all of the drama surrounding the divorce between Sony and Disney, which has pulled Spider-Man out of the MCU, some tinfoil hats are getting a little tight, with people calling this whole thing one big lie. What's up, Comic Book Nation? BD here, and right now we're going to take a look at whether this whole Spider-Man being out of the MCU thing is real or a big ol' hoax. Let's start with the source. There's a guy on Facebook named Mikey Sutton who claims to have breaking news that Sony and Disney are still talking and planning on reaching a deal to keep Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, I don't know who Mikey Sutton is. Based on comment sections, this guy's got more origin stories than Batman.
I'm Batman.
But his Facebook page says he works for a smaller entertainment news outlet, and I don't doubt that he's talked to people who know a thing or two in the past. But I also don't think this whole debacle is a lie, and I'm not sure that's even really what he's saying. Not to crush dreams, but the fans grabbing onto this are holding onto hope instead of facts. This isn't a stunt to build interest. For now, Spidey's MCU door really is closed. Literally and legally. Still, there's a solid reason to believe Tom Holland will be back on screen as Peter Parker in the same world as the Avengers. Most recent reports claim that Disney wanted to fund 25% of future Spider-Man movies and receive 25% of the box office return for those movies. Other reports will tell you Disney wants 30%, and either way, Sony said no. As the previous deal stood from 2015, Disney was getting 5% of the first dollar gross for Spider-Man movies. This means on Spider-Man Far From Home, Disney creatively controlled the film, which made more than $1.1 billion. I know Disney pretty much owns everything anyway, but that is a wild ratio. Sony then went on to say that Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige is too busy to work on Spider-Man 3, and that's just not true. I've talked to Feige about all of this and balancing so many projects, and he most certainly has time for one of Marvel's most popular characters. So when he fires back saying things like he knew this relationship was finite, he might just be playing negotiation hardball through the press in the same way Sony seems to be. Another factor to consider is whether or not Sony is really trying to push Tom Hardy's Venom into the MCU. Reports ahead of Spider-Man Far From Home indicated that the studio wanted to see the character cross over with the world's largest cinematic franchise, but Sony thinks they don't need the MCU to make a hit movie anymore. Despite critics, Venom was a box office success, but numbers for Spider-Man might say otherwise. The recent Amazing Spider-Man franchise spent more money and made less, with only one of the two Andrew Garfield movies topping $750 million. Meanwhile, Homecoming took in $800 million, and Far From Home popped more than $1.1 billion. Spider-Man might be one of the most marketable characters in the world, but having a trailer which directly follows and ties into the biggest movie in the world, Avengers Endgame, certainly helps build excitement and sell some movie tickets. Both studios seem to have something to lose and something to gain in both scenarios. Would Spider-Man Far From Home have made $1.1 billion if it wasn't a follow-up to Avengers Endgame? No! But would it have made more than 70% of that for Sony if they were giving Disney the 30% they're asking for? Maybe. And there's our problem. For now, the door really is closed on Spider-Man in the MCU, so regardless of what anyone wants to tell you on social media about this whole thing being a lie, it isn't. Mom and Dad are fighting over Peter Parker. There's not much we can do but watch. Something tells me, somewhere down the line, we'll get some good news and Spidey's MCU tenure is not over. What do you want to see from Spider-Man going forward? Share your thoughts in the comments section or send them my way on Instagram and Twitter at BrandonDavisBD. And stay tuned to comicbook.com/Marvel for the latest updates. I'm BD. I'll see you there.